Alright guys, today we got a little bit of a special one for you. We're going to be taking on what I like to call the boss gauntlet here in Modern Warfare Zombies. We're going to defeat every possible boss here in one single game, besides the obvious ones that we can't do duplicates of, like we can't do multiple story mission bosses. We are going to be taking on the Stormcaller today, then we're going to go over and defeat Dokkaebi, then we're going to be doing a bunch of HVTs all over the map, including Mega Abominations, then we're going to go off and solo the Redworm, and after that we're going to Scorcher on over and complete the Entity boss fight. But we definitely got a good one for you guys here today, but with that, welcome on back to the channel, everybody. If y'all don't know, my name is Ghost. Appreciate everybody that stops by the video today. If you're into zombies content or anything Call of Duty, knock the hell out of that like button for me and subscribe to the channel, guys. We just ended up hitting 23,000 subscribers. Man, I cannot thank you guys enough for all the crazy love and support. We're already on the road to 24K, and I know you guys are gonna make it happen soon. I did end up setting a little bit of a goal for myself. By the end of the year, I'd hope to hit 40,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and then by the end of the Black Ops 6 life cycle, I really hope we can hit 100K. We gained almost 20,000 subscribers throughout the life cycle of Modern Warfare 3, so with Black Ops 6 being hopefully as popular as it is, I know you guys are just gonna crush it. As you guys can tell, we already got the Stormcaller out of the way, and we ended up using the VR11 with that guy. They are weak to dead wire and anything that has to do with electricity. Well, if you got the VR11 packed up to at least level 3, you shouldn't be having any difficulties with this guy. The way to take him down really easily is with almost any SMG, as long as it's triple packed and you got like a legendary Aether tool on there and you got dead wire on, you're gonna be able to take care of the Stormcaller relatively easily. Now we're on over here at the Dokkaebi's fortress, and this girl puts up a little bit more of a fight. I mean, she throws all those bomb drones at you and everything. Just be careful, she can put you down pretty easily. Got a lot of mercenaries and just sentry guns and everything up here. Now luckily there was a couple other people up here that were trying to do this with me, but honestly I think they were kind of struggling to find her a little bit. For me personally, what I like to do and what I found that works best is I just use the Scorcher and shoot her with it a few times. I do believe it only takes about roughly 4 hits with the Scorcher as long as you hit her directly on. Well, she may fly around the map a little bit, but it's pretty easy just to keep your eye on her and just watch the mini-map. You can see exactly where she goes. I do like the fact that they ended up finally changing these things so that the Warlords are actually a little bit more worth doing now. If you defeat these guys, it is a guaranteed wonder weapons case. Now that I'm thinking about it, guys, I think that defeating the Warlords to get the wonder weapon is probably the only absolute guaranteed way to get a wonder weapon inside of this main map here. Yes, you can get wonder weapon cases other ways. They do end up appearing sometimes in like the red zone contracts, or sometimes defeating Mega Abominations will drop them and whatnot. If you want to get your hands on a guaranteed wonder weapons case, you're gonna have to defeat one of these Warlords. Just to kind of prove a little bit of a point here, we ended up shooting her with the VR11 a couple times, and as you can see here, almost no damage whatsoever. But when I ended up shooting her with the Scorcher, her health just absolutely falls off of her. And of course, you already know we got to do a little bit of a teabag action, and we ended up getting a VR11 case out of here, so I'm definitely gonna take that. And the absolute 2 best wonder weapons in this game for me is going to be the Scorcher and the VR11. The VR11 for just healing up escorts and stuff like that, but also for taking out the Redworm. Almost any boss in this game, to be perfectly honest. Now, I did end up taking the VR11 in to go solo the Entity boss, and I would probably highly advise you guys against doing that. It was possible, and we were able to get it done, but it was, I'm not gonna lie, kind of a bitch to shoot those orbs with the VR11 because she does move around a lot, and those little spots are kind of small. Now, at this point, I'm gonna run around and take care of a bunch of HVTs here. We got a Disciple, we're gonna take care of an HVT Mega Abomination, plus a regular Mega Abomination just walking around. This VR11, as long as you have it pack-a-punched at least up to level 2, is absolutely excellent for killing these Mega Abominations, takes those heads off really easily. There's 2 things you guys are gonna want to look for when you're taking on these Mega Abominations. For one, shoot them in their glowing mouths or when they're trying to beam at you. They're gonna be the 2 times that you're gonna be able to cause critical damage to these guys. If you got a good shot, it really should only take you guys 3 shots with the VR11 to kill these guys. Sometimes it could take 4 just if you miss 1 or 2. While I was in the process of taking on these HVTs and just trying to do the bosses that were walking around the map, we were also going around and collecting up those USBs so we could start this Redworm fight. I do have a tiny trick up my sleeve for this Redworm fight. We did bring in a Disciple bottle, which I'm not going to end up cracking that thing until we're getting ready to go over to the boss fight. I want to make sure that this Disciple has absolutely as much health as he absolutely can have, because he's going to be dealing with a lot of zombies and stuff when I'm trying to take on this Redworm. But to be perfectly honest, guys, these things are absolute lifesavers. They act as absolute perfect decoys, and they will be getting rid of quite a few of these zombies for you. Setting up for the Redworm fight is relatively easy. I would just advise you guys to bring in like 3 sentry guns, maybe a couple of self-revives, and be sure that you got a golden gas mask. Now, the Scorcher isn't necessary because we're not going to be using it during the boss fight, but it does make setting up this thing way easier. You do have access to an Aether blade. It'll help you out a little bit just by keeping some of the zombies and stuff off you, but it's not necessary. Now, one of the things that I would say almost is necessary is that you bring in golden armor. You can attempt to solo this guy without it, but I'm not going to lie to you guys, it will be definitely a pain in the ass has to be picking up armor and constantly trying to play all the time while you're just training around in circles, trying to shoot at this Redworm whenever you can. Just trust me, that golden armor plate, it's not an absolute must, but it will make your life way easier. Just a couple of tips while you guys are trying to defeat this guy. Number one is going to be just really never stop moving. Just keep on training these zombies and going around in circle around this Redworm, shooting your VR11 whenever you get the chance. You can be shooting the Redworm towards the bottom and he's way easier to hit that way, but if you're going to be hitting him in those glowing red areas, you're going to be doing a lot more damage to him. Notice I pop at the bottom whenever I can just because it's easier, but whenever I could actually look up and actually hit those red areas with ease, I would do that instead. Also, never place yourself directly in front of the Redworm. He can do several things which will down you almost instantly. He can shoot out that beam kind of like Godzilla and that will instantly put you down. He can also slam down on top of you and that will also be an insta down. My advice is if he tries to turn around and stare right at you, or if he looks right at your direction, be sure to just move out of the way as fast as you can. Try to be placing yourself either beside or behind the worm absolutely as much as possible. Now another thing you guys are going to want to be looking out for is the lightning bolts that can appear on the ground. These are pretty much just indicators that'll show you don't stand in this spot or you're going to get electrocuted. Now if you got plates, they won't end up putting you down, but you are going to be completely stunned and just kind of shocked. You won't be able to really move or do anything, and zombies can put you down pretty easily. If you are already weak, like let's say from taking a few zombie hits already, those lightning bolts will definitely put you down. Another thing, don't be afraid to be tossing out as many decoys as you absolutely need to. You do have those 2 ammo refill stations right next to you, and you will be hitting these things a lot throughout the majority of the fight just to be repairing your gas mask. Definitely don't be afraid to waste a decoy or 2. If you got that grenade bandolier, well hell, more power to you. Yes guys, this can definitely be one of the most toughest boss fights to complete here in the game, but I think as long as you come in here and you're fully prepared, you got the right stuff, it can definitely be a breeze for you guys. Well, if you end up failing this on your first time solo, it's okay. Just come back in here, try to, you know, get your stuff back up and try again. Once you end up completing this fight, I mean, especially once you do it solo, you're just gonna feel really good and proud about yourself. But I can almost 100% guarantee you guys, once you do it once or twice, once you do it 3 or 4 times, it's just gonna become so easy. It's almost like riding a bike. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys have soloed the Redworm yet. Maybe what's your success rate with this thing. Also, let me know if you guys think that the Redworm is harder, or do you think that the Dark Aether story worm is harder? That's what I'm kind of 50-50 on, I'm not gonna lie, but I think I'm gonna go with the Redworm just because this thing can end up spawning inside of the 2nd tier zone, and if it's out there, it can just be absolute all hell. Here it is guys, we're about to defeat this Redworm here, taking our last few shots with the VR11. I gotta say, I absolutely love the death animation with this worm, how he just kind of like curls up and then he just explodes and it just rains blood and guts everywhere. Just such an absolutely amazing killer animation. Whoever did this, absolutely bravo to them. Unfortunately this time around, this guy didn't end up dropping me any wonder weapons. He only dropped me a jug, but sometimes he'll end up dropping you like wonder weapon cases or ether tools, just not this time around. But we did end up seeing that flawless crystal schematic inside of the rift, so that's kind of cool. Now that we got the Redworm dealt with, it's time to go Scorch on over and go inside of the Season 5 Reloaded Axe Story mission and go deal with that entity boss. While we were in here, we also took the time to go around and unlock that secret locked room in there that's got the MCW blueprint, the Scorcher case, plus all of those Ethereum crystals. If you guys don't know how to unlock this room, I do have a video up on my channel that does show you guys how to open this thing up. I will also link it down in the description. Definitely one of the coolest little Easter eggs that you guys can do, and it's not very difficult, and you get a lot of really good loot out of here. And who doesn't want a guaranteed Scorcher case and a flawless crystal? I mean, just those 2 things alone I think kind of make it worth it. I don't know why you guys are gonna see here, I was kind of struggling with the stow button for some reason, and it kept going back and forth between 3rd person, and just I was struggling for a minute, trust me, I know. Somebody also did end up telling me down in the comment section that there is a wonder weapon on the ship somewhere in the sky. Now I ended up searching the ship all over and I didn't see it anywhere out there. I'm pretty damn sure I ended up checking every single corner and nook and cranny. I ended up looking at literally every single thing. I even used the R4D detector up there. I didn't see anything, but honestly I could be wrong, so let me know down in the comment section if that wonder weapon is up there somewhere. Now we are up here at the entity boss fight, and I gotta say guys, I stared at that MCW for quite a while because I was like, should I pick this thing up? Kinda had a bit of a feeling that trying to shoot these orbs and the entity with this VR11 was gonna be a bit of a pain in the ass, and I was definitely correct. If you're gonna be soloing this entity boss fight, I would definitely highly advise against using this VR11 trying to do it. It's just really hard to try to shoot those orbs with this thing. You guys know it doesn't shoot fast, and not only that, just the projectiles also shoot out incredibly slow. There's gonna be certain cases where you're just gonna have to predict where the orbs are. One thing I did kind of notice was the orbs down towards the bottom of the entity's body were just easier for me to shoot at and hit. The one thing I was pretty surprised of is we actually didn't even suffer 1 down on throughout this entire run. I was almost 100% convinced with just having the Scorcher and the VR11 trying to do this entity fight that I was going to go down. I'm sure if you guys have done this fight before, I mean, especially if you've done it solo, you know how difficult that this one can be. We did end up toughing through this, guys. We ended up getting it done. Definitely one insane, absolute crazy run here in Modern Warfare Zombies. Ended up taking on and defeating every single boss that we absolutely could, well, besides the other story missions, and just hopefully maybe we've ended up inspiring somebody else to come out here and try to attempt to do all of this stuff solo. Like I ended up saying earlier, it is a little bit of a challenge, but if you guys get all of this stuff done, I guarantee you will be so proud of yourself. Once you end up doing these things a few times and you notice that they start becoming easier and easier for you, you'll just notice that you're becoming a better zombies player in general. With that, I do want to thank everybody that took their time out of their day to watch the video. It honestly truly does mean the world to me. Really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please do me the biggest favor in the world and rock the hell out of that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if anybody is new. We do try to pump out daily zombies content here. Yet sometimes we miss a day here and there, but I do try to keep up as absolutely as much as possible. Again, thank you guys, especially if you made it this far into the video. You guys are absolute legends. I greatly do appreciate you. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one.